What's good? What's good? I'm back. Yours truly, one and only Paul Pickett, host of the Paul Pickett Podcast, aka Triple P, aka the Common Sense Podcast, your source for music, sports, politics, world events, and much, much more. Today, I'm going to react to a video from the Millionaire Morning Show about Chicago's next mayor is worse than the last mayor, Lori Lightfoot. Actually said that before I watched this video. And now I'm totally convinced after watching this video that Lori Lightfoot was actually a better mayor, especially after what I heard Lori Lightfoot say in a video I was watching today. But before we get into that, let's give you a word from Dizzle.
That lit, that slap, it is that one. That everybody talking about Dizzle new drink. They like that's that turn. That lit, that slap, it is that one. That everybody talking about Dizzle new drink. They
like you can Dizzle too. Dizzle is a premium luxury liqueur mixed with agave tequila, French cognac, and orange liquor mango mix. Throw your Dizzle on ice, and it's nice. If you want to order your very own bottle, a bottle is Dizzle Premium Luxury Liqueur. Go to dizzlebrand.com, click on our locations, click on one of the top 3 website links. I recommend Emilio's Beverage. Must be 21 and over. Shipping and handling is included. Below that is actual locations where you can buy bottles of Dizzle in store: California, Oklahoma, Kansas, and Arkansas. And the Dizzle merch, as you see, I got the hat on, got the t-shirt on as well. You can get that at dizzlebrand.com. Go to merchandise store or go to etsy.com. Search for Dizzle Brand or etsy.com/shop/Dizzle Brand. That's etsy.com/shop/Dizzle Brand. And also, I don't know that I can really announce it yet, but Dizzle has something big happening. Should be launching in July. So be on the lookout, and I will keep people informed, especially on social media and whatnot. All right, we're gonna try one of these custom made links I got, and here we go.
Tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat.
Some breaking news off the top. Hundreds of teens flooding into downtown Chicago tonight, smashing car windows, trying to get into Millennium Park, prompting a major police response. Within the past few minutes, shots were fired near the corner of Madison.
Look at all of them teens. Downtown Chicago run over and ran amok by teens, right? Now let's really put this in perspective, ladies and gentlemen. I know you see the little swoop because we got the sun shining on us, so we're not gonna pivot. We're just gonna let the sun shine on us. Think about this for a second, ladies and gentlemen. A lot of people say, Anton, how come you've never done a Patreon meetup in Chicago? We've done Las Vegas, we've done Miami multiple times, Houston, Dallas is gonna be popping, LA. I said Atlanta, DC, New York, Detroit. We've done Patreon meetups and it's been a vibe the entire time, right? A lot of people say, Anton, how come you won't do a Patreon meetup over in Chicago? Because every time that I turn on the news, listen, I watched a clip yesterday, and I'm going to have to watch the whole documentary, and I might even break it down on the Millionaire Morning Show. I watched a clip yesterday of King Von basically being a serial killer.
Before we finish, I saw the title of that video. I didn't watch it. I want to throw this out there though. Years ago, I was a booking agent on a show that involved Flip Mode Squad, Rampage, and Digger to do a show in Illinois State University. Show didn't go through because of janky promoter type of stuff. But make a long story short, we ran out of gas in Chicago. in front of some project towers and like one of the Beeb stores, the Arab stores, and that was one of the places that I've been to. One of probably the only places I generally been to where I generally was nervous, ready to get the hell out of there. Me and the guy we was with had to walk the streets of Chicago, go to like a Walgreens and get some cash from like Western Union or something like that. But we were generally nervous, generally ready to get the hell out of there. It just didn't seem like the right vibe, especially knowing what I know about Chicago. And this was years ago, but Chicago's always been a violent city. Let's keep it moving.
Let me say that again. The dude that y'all love the most and say that he's a real one and keep it real and rest in peace, I think that King Von is burning in hell. If you were a serial killer, meaning that this man had multiple bodies that he was catching and he was taking the lives of other people, let alone other black people in his own community, you cannot sit here and tell me that he got his angel wings and that God has said, hey, well done, my good and faithful servant. Come into the grace of the Lord. A serial killer.
I'm not a religious guy. I don't believe in God or the devil, but I will say this. I'm a laws of nature guy. And I didn't feel sorry because, you know, you live by the gun, you die by the gun. And he was clearly living by the gun, you know. So I didn't feel sorry one bit. I'm not one of those people that you're ever going to see wearing a T-shirt that says free somebody that clearly committed a crime. Let's keep it moving.
And Michigan. Now, we had a news crew on the scene, but they had to move because of safety concerns. I was there a little bit earlier, about an hour and a half ago, and saw police escorting tourists and visitors to their cars in the Millennium Park parking garage. The crowd was trying to get into Millennium Park, but there are checkpoints that are not allowing anyone under the age of 21 who's not with an adult to get in. So they're massing across the street on the other side of Michigan Avenue. I spoke to a woman whose car was smashed by people jumping on the windshield. She says the crowd began beating her husband as he sat in the driver's seat. He's now been sent to Northwestern Memorial Hospital. I also talked to a woman, a Chicago native, who was appalled by what she saw.
What I see out here is completely ludicrous, to be honest with you. I'm appalled at what I see. I'm from Chicago, and I understand kids having a good time, but it's simply bad parenting.
Shout out to my black queens. Shout out to my black queens. Let me make sure we can get the whole view, not just half the view. Shout out to my black queens. Go ahead, boo. You tell your story, baby girl.
We have to do better as parents. Our kids should not be out here. Where are their parents at? That's my question.
Look at
The
that.
situation continues to
No. Let me tell you what they'll tell me as I'm looking at this, right? Look at this crowd, this mob of people in downtown Chicago where they saying defund the police, running the Victim Olympics, elect people based off of their sexual orientation and whether or not they're black, and elect very much the same type of people that we're trying to get rid of in Lori Lightfoot. Now, what they'll tell us is these people are not a danger. They're not a menace. Now, and then remember, it's a difference between black people and niggas, okay? Black people are respectable. Black people take care of their families. They're faithful. They raise their children. I know a lot of great black men that's doing some awesome things, right? But this is what they'll tell me. They'll say, Anton, you stereotyping if you cross the street. Okay, I'll do you one better. How about if I see 2 blocks down, I see that, I'm just going to do a U-turn and go right on back to where I came from. I'm not even driving down that block. I'm not even driving down that block at all. Because you know why? My daughter will never, ever be in this mob in downtown Chicago on a school night breaking into, shots ringing off. I told my daughter the other day, Rita, do you remember what I told Leslie the other day? When she was in the room and me and her was wrestling in the living room. And I said, baby, I was driving in the hood the other day.
Oh yeah, and then she couldn't handle it.
I told her, you remember?
Yeah.
I said, Leslie, my little baby. She said, what, Dad? So we wrestling. She showing me her new Taekwondo moves. She kicking my ass, right? And I said, my little baby. Oh, so I gave her a hug. She said, what? I said, you're not built for the streets, honey. She started cracking up. I said, honey, there's no way in the world that I would ever subject my daughter to the environment that we thought was cool and we thought was okay when we was being raised up. There's no way that I would ever subject my daughter to the environment that y'all still think is cool and this culture in which we embrace and in which I think that is overwhelmingly celebrated as trash.
I like what he said right there. There was a lot of things I used to think was cool when I was a kid that I think is totally not cool now, like sagging pants and playing your music too loud, in the neighborhood, or when early in the morning or late at night, like there's just a lot of things that I thought was cool when I was younger that I think's not cool now. I think's pretty disrespectful and sends the wrong message. Let's keep it moving.
Up at this hour, as we mentioned, we have a reporter on the scene, but there are some security concerns. Fox 32's Nate Rogers is on Michigan Avenue in a protective position. Nate, can you tell us what you see right now?
Yeah, that's right, Dane. As you just mentioned, we're downtown on Michigan and Randolph. I'm actually probably a block away from a lot of where the chaos has originated. Right now, Chicago police are trying to clear Michigan Avenue, at least from Randolph.
Notice how they send the black people in there in order to report effectively, because if you're a white man and you got on some reporter gear and you got a cameraman with you, you are meat. You are toast. They coming for you. They will have your neck. If you a white man and you walking around thinking that it's sweet out there trying to report on the news, no, they got to send in their toughest reporters. They sent the black woman in and they sent that black man in.
I gotta pause for a second. I swear to God, when I first see the reporter, I was like, that's the most cock diesel built reporter I've ever seen in my entire life. And he's dressed like he's wearing sweats like he just came from the gym and shit, man. And he's got that bassy voice, man. He ain't got one of those voices like that one dude, that black dude that does the weather for North Carolina. Well, tonight it's going to be 105 and tomorrow it's going to be 104. Now, this dude got the bassy voice. We had to move next from over here. And he's cock diesel as hell. He's right, though. He's right. It makes a lot of sense. I mean, that's the biggest damn reporter I've ever seen, yo.
And he better not have no AirPod Maxes in. He better have some regular AirPods in that boy.
Until maybe 3 or 4 blocks south on Michigan. Very active scene indeed. Hundreds of officers working this investigation. There are reports, unconfirmed by Chicago police, of multiple people shot at Michigan and Washington, also Michigan and Wabash. The Chicago Fire Department, we're told, is here along.
Multiple people shot. Now, in any other community, if multiple people get shot by one person that's not black, they call that a mass shooting. Let's be real. Let's be real.
Facts.
In any other community, if multiple people get shot, they call that a mass shooting. That is a mass murderer that is going to be arrested, put on trial, and they're going to have a whole news report about it. In our communities, because we don't have any standards, that's just normal. It's normal for you to hear sirens outside of your window. It's normal for you to hear gunshots in the air. It's normal. It's normal for kids to run through the street amok, tear up the stores, burn down their buildings, almost get hit by a car, don't have no kind of parents nowhere to then control them or whatever like that. This is normal. We don't have any standards anymore. This is normal.
That almost sounds like what's normal in Fallujah. Let's keep it moving.
Paramedics and Chicago SWAT teams all assisting in this investigation. Now, the chaos here downtown began or erupted just before 8 p.m. Several hundred young people traveling in groups, kids seen jumping barricades into Millennium Park, also jumping on top of cars. Other reports indicated large groups trying to force their way into the Art Institute. This appears to be one of those teen takeovers that we saw last year, publicized widely on social media, attracting thousands into the downtown area as well as to Chicago area beaches. The teens are seen with their cell phones out, Bluetooth music speakers blasting, dancing while recording videos, hoping that they'll go viral. Now, I'm back out here live really just within the last 10 minutes or so ago. My photographer and I, Raphael, we heard at least 4 gunshots.
Now, you know Raphael is feeling some type of way about you subjecting him to this nonsense.
We were standing at Michigan and Washington. We ran along with another TV news crew just to get to safety. Maybe 5 minutes after that, we heard even more gunshots. And so right now, Chicago police are trying to clear this area. If you can see from where I'm standing right now, gridlock traffic indeed. I mean, Chicago police here in great numbers along with the Chicago Fire Department.
Let me show y'all another video real quick. And it's funny because my wife said, she said, Anton, you ever want to go and visit Chicago? I said, nope. We're going to go the other way. We're going to go to Pittsburgh. We're going to Pittsburgh. We're not going to Chicago. No more Chicago fuss. Check this out. Now look at this narrative. Completely different or same report, but now we have some additional context in this, all right?
Action pouring in tonight after a violent weekend of shootings and fights involving large groups of teenagers here in Chicago. Last night, hundreds of young people descended on Michigan Avenue, smashing car windows and trying to get into Millennium Park. And Friday night, another large group brawled at the 31st Street Beach.
Friday night, another large group brawled at the 30-something Street Beach. This is in the daytime. It ain't even just happening at night. But watch this. Stick with me real quick.
Setting a car on fire. Tonight, both the mayor and mayor-elect are weighing in on the teen takeovers, calling them...
Both the mayor, Lori Lightfoot, and the mayor-elect. So this is the person that's going to replace Lori Lightfoot. All right? Rock out with us, y'all. Rock out with us.
Unacceptable. This was the scene at Michigan and Washington last evening. Police making 15 arrests during a massive disturbance in the area of Millennium Park. A 16 and 17-year-old were shot as others jumped on cars, smashing windows. This woman and her husband were attacked in their cars. They waited for a light to change.
The guys are jumping in my car. My husband go to the hospital.
What did they do?
Because the guys I put in their face.
So you telling me these monsters are literally just punching random people in their face, beat up her husband, jumped in. Listen. This is terrorism. This is terrorism. Because this is what they want us to stay on code for. A bunch of teens jumped. Boy, everybody would have been shot in that car. I'm letting everything fly. Come and pick your kid up, not from the jail cell. Come and pick your kid up from the morgue. Come and pick your kid up from the morgue. Everybody dying in that car. And no, he was not a good child. Fuck your fish fry. Fuck your GoFundMe. Everybody getting killed in that car.
I love this guy. I mean, yeah, man. What are we talking about here, man? Like somebody just starts ripping you out the car and assaulting you, punching you. Yeah, man. You got it. Let it fly. Turn him to Swiss cheese, you know. He said, fuck your fish fry, fuck your GoFundMe. know your kid ain't a good kid. And that's another thing that pisses me off. It's kind of like how I said why Lamar Jackson. I know this has nothing to do with this, but why Lamar Jackson's mommy shouldn't be his agent. Because parents are so biased. It's like, how many times do you see kid clearly a criminal, and he gets caught up in some criminal shit, and the parents are like, oh, he's a good kid. You know, he done shot and killed somebody. Oh, he's a good kid. You know, robbed somebody at gunpoint. Oh, he's a good kid. Parents are always going to think the best of their kids, even when their kids are the worst. You know, that's just parents are always. Most parents are going to be biased towards their kids, and that's 100% facts. Most kids are going to be biased. So they're never. That's why he threw that in there. No, your kid wasn't good. It's hilarious.
Everybody that ever balled up a fist is going down. What the fuck are we talking about, y'all? Why are people jumping in the car and punching random people in the face? Why do you feel comfortable enough to do that? Where's your home training?
I put in your face.
And on Friday night,
let me start real quick. I've never had ever thought of, let me just go punch some random person in the face. I've never had that thought, and you're asking for it if you punch the wrong person, because like he said, he'll be the wrong person. If you punch him, well, he's gonna be the wrong person, man. Like he said, he's gonna turn you Swiss cheese. He said everybody's going in the casket, send you back to your mom in the casket. Screw your fish fries, screw your GoFundMe, and know your kid wasn't a good kid. No, nobody's good if they just randomly assault people for no reason. You just assault complete strangers for no reason. Not even to just rob them and take what they have. You just assault them for no reason whatsoever.
a 14-year-old boy was shot near the 31st Street beach after fights broke out among a large crowd of teens. In a statement, incoming Mayor Brandon Johnson said, "It is unacceptable and has no place in our city. However, it is not constructive to demonize youth who've otherwise been starved of opportunities in their own communities."
That's the part I wanted to play. That's the part I wanted to play. This is why I will never, ever align myself with somebody based off of the color of their skin. Character matters.
Yes.
Loyalty.
Yep.
How it is that you move when nobody is looking at you, around you. Listen, you're getting the same thing that you just got rid of in Lori Lightfoot. The same thing.
But worse.
Look, it is not constructive to demonize youth who was beating the fuck out of, I'm going to add this next part, who's jumping in cars, tearing up shit, and beating the fuck out of innocent people that ain't got nothing to do with nothing. Is not constructive to demonize youth.
Why? Because they can't. I was just talking to a friend earlier. Shouts out to Alfred Simpson. And we were just talking about when we were kids, all the things we used to do: play ball, basketball, football, ride bikes, ride skateboards. A lot of kids, they can't do none of that. And see, the problem is this society, they got no excuse of they don't got nothing to do because they keep their faces in cell phones all the time. Like when we were growing up, we didn't have no cell phones. We couldn't keep our faces in cell phones. And we did play video games too when we wasn't playing basketball, football, and going to the roller skating rink, trying to get after girls. I mean, there was skateboarding, riding on bikes all over the city. We were playing video games too. So we're gonna make excuses that they don't have nothing to do in the neighborhood. So we shouldn't be upset because they're pulling people out of their cars and beating on them and jumping couples, married couples, and shooting people and killing people and burning cars and looting cars and whatever. Yeah, that's got to be the worst excuse I've ever heard, man. I'm with him, man, 1,000% on this one. Definitely check out the Millionaire morning show and whatnot a lot more. But this is batshit crazy, and apparently they're gonna do it again. And that's why I posted. They used to say you get what you pay for, but now you get what you vote for. And this mayor is far worse than Lori Lightfoot. Because what Lori Lightfoot just said, she just came out and just said that like Chicago needs to be harsher. Like the judges need to not let people get house arrest, not let them out in the streets, need to keep them locked up. Because it seems like Lori Lightfoot was bending to the will of the woke donors that she probably had, the woke culture donors that she had. And now that she's not in office, she's really saying what she feels and really finally being honest. Because I agree with what she said in the video I watched today 1,000%, but I've never heard Lori Lightfoot say anything else that I agree with. I've only heard AOC maybe say one or two things that I agree with. Once again, I want to thank y'all for tuning in. And don't forget to check out dizzlebrand.com and Paul Pickett Podcast. And I'm out.